Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna. आज इंग्लिश में क्लास दे दें? रशिया से पहले लोग सुन रहे हैं। ओके। You read English nicely? You read? मेरा गला बैठा हुआ है, मैं रीडिंग किसी और से कराऊँ। I'm a bad sword for a long time. Jai Ram Jai Radha Gopi jana vala Gopi jana vala Jai Radha Sodanandan Sodanandan Jamnatira Manachar Jamnatira Manachar Maharaj ki, Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj ki, Shri Gauratai ki, Shri Radha Parthasarthi, Shri Siddhartha Lakshmana ki, all glory to Samadhi, all glory to Samadhi, all glory to Samadhi, all glory to Shri Guru. कितने भक्त हैं जिन्हें इंग्लिश बिल्कुल समझ नहीं आती, तो आप 2-3 भक्त पीछे बैठ सकते हो और कोई अनुवाद कर लेगा आपके लिए। ठीक है, इधर होके मेरा गला भी बैठा हुआ है, इसलिए मैंने छोटा कीर्तन किया। You want to read? Read text 34 and 35. 34-35. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Text 34 and 35. No purport. So we'll read the translation and go to text 35. Okay? सुनाई दे रहा है? क्योंकि मेरा गला बहुत आधा पंक्चर है. Okay. You just use the word meaning of 34.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Text 34. Translation. Shukdev Goswami said, Maharaj,
First you do the
translation.
Do word meaning.
Okay, word by word meaning. Uttareshu, on the northern side. Cha, also. Kurushu, in the tract of land known as Guru. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yajna Purushaha, who accepts all results of sacrifices. Kritvaraha Rupaha, having accepted the form of a boar. Aste, exist eternally. Tam, him. Tu, certainly. Devi, the goddess. Ha, certainly. Esha, this. Bhuhu, planet earth. Saha, along with. Kurubhihi, the inhabitants of the land known as Kuru. Akhalita, Ashkhalita, unfailing. Bhakti Yogena, by devotional service. Updhavati, worship. Imam, this. Cha, also. Paramam, Upanishadam, the supreme Upanishad, the process by which one can approach the Lord. Avartayati, chants again and again for the purpose of practice. Translation, first here.
You have translation there, English to Hindi. कोई कर रहा है?
हिंदी में अनुवाद है आपके पास बुक?
वो कर रहे ठीक है अनुवाद.
Translation. Please hear. Shukdev Goswami said, Dear King, the Supreme Lord in his board incarnation, who accepts all sacrificial offerings, lives in the northern part of Jamadweep. There, in the tract of land known as Uttar Kuru Varsha, Mother Earth and all the other inhabitants worship him with unfailing devotional service by repeatedly chanting the following Upanishad mantras. Text 35.
You can repeat the translation.
Repeat, okay. 34 का translation repeat करेंगे. We'll repeat translation. Shukdev Goswami said, Dear King, the Supreme Lord in his board incarnation, who accepts all sacrificial offerings, lives in the northern part of Jamadweep. There, in the tract of land known as Uttara Kuru Varsha, Mother Earth and all the other inhabitants worship him with unfailing devotional service by repeatedly chanting the following Upanishad mantra. Text 35, word by word translation. Om, O Lord, Namaha, respectful obeisances. Bhagavate, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mantra Tattva Lingaya, who is understood in truth by different mantras. Yajna, in the form of animal sacrifices. Karatve, an animal sacrifice. Mahadhara, great sacrifices. Avyavaya, whose limbs and bodily parts. Mahapurushaya, unto the Supreme Person. Namaha, respectful obeisances. Karma Shuklaya, who purifies the fruitive activities of living entities. Triyugaya, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full with 6 opulences and who appears in 3 yugas, remaining concealed in the 4th Yuga. Namaha, my respectful obeisances, te unto you. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Please hear. O Lord, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you as the gigantic person. Simply by chanting mantras, we shall be able to understand you fully. You are yajna, sacrifice, and you are the kratu, ritual. Therefore, all the ritualistic ceremonies of sacrifice are part of your transcendental body, and you are the only enjoyer of all sacrifices. Your form is composed of transcendental goodness. You are known as Tri-Yuga because in Kali Yuga you appeared as a concealed incarnation, and because you always fully possess the 3 pairs of opulences. Kindly repeat.
Purport.
Okay, purport. Purport, please hear. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of this age of Kali, as confirmed in many places throughout the Puranas, the Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Upanishads. The summary of his appearance is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 6.99 as follows. Kali Yuge Leela Avatara na kare Bhagavan, Ataeva Triyuga Kari Kahi Tarana. In this age of Kali, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagwan, does not appear as a Leela avatar, an incarnation to display pastimes. Therefore, he is known as Tri-Yuga. Unlike other incarnations, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears in this age of Kali as a devotee of the Lord. Therefore, he is called a concealed incarnation, Channa avatar.
Om Jnana Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurmitanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovesta Savitamena Bhut Swayam Rupa Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamna Shri Gurun Vaishnava Shri Rupam. Hey Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna. So in this chapter, we are reading about the residents of Jamadweep, and we have seen the different demigods reside in different parts of Jamadweep. And in the introduction to this chapter, Prabhupada explains that you can understand the relationship between the tenants, the devotees and the Lord only by staying in devotee association. If you are in devotee association, you'll understand. Now in this text 34, the Shukadeva Goswami is explaining the appearance of the Lord in the boar incarnation. Which chapter describes the boar incarnation? Third chapter. third canto. Third canto describes, actually there have been in history 2 more incarnations. So Hiranyaksha had fought a battle with the Lord. The earth was submerged in water. And Lord Brahma was meditating. This earth has fallen in the water. How can I lift it up? And he was meditating. How can I lift up the earth when from his nostril some very small, like an elephant, came out. Very small. Like you cut the size of your nails. Nakun cut you up. So it's just the size of the nail tip. A small body appeared. And Brahma was meditating, how can I lift the earth out of water? But that small body instantly grew into a giant from the earth right to the sky. It became so big. And then it was roaring. And the roaring sound was so heavy that it looked as if mountains were roaring. And Lord Brahma, when he saw this extraordinary display, he knew this must be the Supreme Lord. Because only the Supreme Lord can appear as a small nail and then become as giant as everything from earth to the sky. So when the incarnation of the Lord, because Lord Boar was not an ordinary boar, was not an ordinary pig. Boar means pig. If someone tells you, are you a pig? You say, yeah, I look like a pig. You feel like fighting. Somebody calls you a pig. But here we have a pig and we worship. Isn't that amazing? Just like we also studied the appearance of Matsya Avatar. That was the Lord appearing like a fish. The Lord appeared like a fish in the hands of a king called Satyavrat. And the king was meditating in water with his hands in the water, where a small fish came. And instantly, the fish outgrew the size of his palm. And the fish said, your palm is too small for me. Give me a bigger vessel. So the Lord King gave him something bigger, and it became bigger than that too. Then he took the fish to his house. But then it became bigger than everything in his house. He had a well in the house. He threw the fish in the well, and instantly the fish outgrew the well. So she said, the well is too small. Throw me in the ocean. And then eventually was thrown in the sea. And it went on expanding. And then it appeared in a golden form. And he appeared in a, that's what the Lord and Matsya Avatar. So the point that we are making is simple. When the Lord incarnates, he performs superhuman activity. As Krishna says in the Gita, Janma karma chame, what is it? Divyam, evam viditadata. My appearance and disappearance are both transcendental. So you have seen in this chapter the Residents of Jamadweep. Who are the Residents of Jamadweep? All powerful demigods. The Lord's incarnation. It is not like some ordinary area. You can pay money and buy. So there are different residents there. So here we read about the appearance of Matsya Avatar and other. So here we're reading about the appearance of the Lord as a boar incarnation. So why did the Lord appear as a boar? Vidura inquired in the third canto, and why did he appear? Because the earth had fallen in the water, deep down in the water, and there was need to rescue the earth. And while Brahma was contemplating, how can I lift this earth out of the water, that small entity that had appeared from Brahma's nostril became a giant, and it reached the ceiling of the hill. And he roared, and when he roared, it appeared as if all the mountains are roaring. It was so loud. Then Brahmaji could understand, now the Lord has appeared. So, this was described, the appearance of the Lord as a boar incarnation. In history, there have been two genuine boar incarnations. So in this verse we are reading that Mother Earth is the Prithvi, and Mother Earth is offering respects to whom? To the appearance of the Lord as a boar. The devotee knows, even if the Lord is appearing as a pig, he is God. The devotee knows, even the Lord is appearing as a fish, it's God. God can appear as a fish. God can appear as a boar. Nothing is inconsequential. God can appear as Lord Nrsimhadev. Lord Nrsimhadev and Prahlad were also tenants in Jamadweep. The Lord appears as Lord Nrsimhadev. The layman may say, half man, half lion, impossible. This is mythology. A lot of Western scholars concluded that the Vedic message is mythology. During the British rule, a lot of British scholars came to India and they studied the Vedas, and then they translated the Vedas. And in the translation they said, this is all mythology, it's all imagination. But to the devotee, this is not mythology. Just like in the Brahma Samhita it said, Advaita Achyutam Anadi Ananta Rupam. My dear Lord, Advaita, no difference between body and soul. Achyuta, infallible. You never make mistakes. You and I make mistakes. Is that right? To err is human. They say in English language. God never makes mistakes, but He's Achyuta. Ananta Rupam. He appears in many forms. You can't limit God. You can't say He only manifests in one form. He is unlimited. And we must recognize that. But to recognize that, in the introduction to this chapter, Prabhupada explains, you must have devotee association. If you have devotee association, then you can understand that. So, when the Lord appeared as a boar, all the devotees offered him respect. And they were living in the land, in a tract of land known as Utsaksura. And how did the demigods worship the Lord? By chanting mantras. So the Brajabhumi worshiped the Lord with mantras because the Lord had appeared as Vara, as born connection. Now continuing on that theme, in text 35 it is said, we offer respectful obeisances unto you, the gigantic person. So who is offering respects? The Mother Earth, Brajabhumi, she is offering respect. To whom? Lord Boar, Lord Vara, who appeared in a boar incarnation. And how is she offering obeisance? By chanting mantras. So chanting mantras is a traditional process of glorifying the Lord. Here we see that they are offering mantras to glorify the Lord. So the mantra recitation is a process being practiced in time immemorial. Now, they were offering gifts by chanting mantras, and then what happened? And then you are the yajna, you sacrifice. In every age, there is a different process of yajna. In the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, text 5, what does Krishna say? Yajna dana tapasya should never be given up. Yajna dana tapasya. Not that I don't want yajna. Yajna doesn't mean just doing a fire ritual. Yajna also means adopting the plan of worship. The plan of worship in this age, we'll come to that later, is the chanting of the holy name. But the Brijvasi, Mother Earth, they offer the Lord obeisances. They were chanting mantras, and they were chanting mantras for whom? To glorify the Supreme Lord. And it says, your body is transcendental. So the Lord's body is transcendental. Whether he appears in a boar form, Matsya form, any other form, it always remains. What does it remain? Transcendental. We can never say, oh, that's a material form. Lord's body is always transcendental. Now, further, the Brijvasis are making, the Mother Earth is making another point. She is saying, in every incarnation, you appear and perform your Leela, just like in Matsya Avatar. The Lord's Leela and Matsya is displayed. And now we are reading about the worshiping of the Lord as a boar incarnation. That's also a Leela. The Lord appeared as a boar. The Lord appeared as half man, half lion. That's also a Leela. So in every age, the Lord appears in what? Unique form. And he displays superhuman Leela. In Satyuga, the process was meditation on the Lord. Then came Treta Yuga, the process was elaborate yajnas. Then came Dwapara Yuga, the process was elaborate worship. So the Lord appears in different forms which are described as Leelas. So in every age, the Lord appears, but he appears in a role that is impossible to match. If there was a boar incarnation, can somebody else appear as a boar incarnation? Can somebody else become a Matsya, tiny fish, and then you become millions of miles big? No, you can't do it. So, in every incarnation, the Lord appears in a transcendental form which is inconceivable, unbeatable, and impossible to conceive. But in Kali Yuga, how does the Lord appear? The Lord appears as Chanavatar. Chanavatar means one who is hidden. I'll read this verse to you. I'm not reading the Sanskrit, I'll just appear. In this way, my Lord, you appear in various incarnations as a human being, an animal, a great saint, a demigod, a fish, or a tortoise, thus maintaining the entire creation and different planetary systems and killing the demonic principles. According to the age, O my Lord, you protect the principles of religion. In the age of Kali, however, you do not assert yourself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore you are known as Sri Yuga, or the Lord who appears in 3 yugas. So, it is being explained here. The mighty Lord, it is described, one of Lord Chaitanya's name is Sri Yuga. One of the Lord's name is Sri Yuga. In between one. There are 4 yugas, but you appear in only 3 yugas. So you may say, why? Why? Why is the Lord appearing in 3 yugas? Why is he not appearing in 4? So in the purport it is explained, because in this age he is Chana avatar. Chana means hidden. He is in this age. God will appear, but he may not perform Leela. But if you look at it, the description of Matsya avatar in the Bhagavatam, in just one chapter, is Leela. A part of one canto. And in the story of Boar incarnation, the story just runs into one chapter. But in the case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is actually a Chana avatar, hidden avatar, his Leela runs into volumes and volumes of books. Isn't that funny? Lord Chaitanya, who is Leela, is described in Chaitanya Bhagavad, in Chaitanya Chaitamrita, in Chaitanya Manga, that his Leelas are inconceivable and so vast, even if you read it every day, you may not finish. And as far as these other incarnations, Boar, Matsya, they Leelas are just 1 or 2 chapters. They do 2 chapters past that, and they hit the headlines. Board incarnation. And Lord Chaitanya, whose Leela is far deeper, we say he's not a Leela avatar. He's just a Chana avatar or Gupta avatar. Because Lord Chaitanya was appearing as a devotee to save the people of Kali Yuga. The Lord knew the things have got degraded. The Lord could see that something compassionate has to be done. Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakur in Shantipur, they were studying the Bhagavatam day and night, chanting day and night. They looked at the environment in the cities and they could see people are too degraded. So they said, now God, you have to appear. And so Advaita and Haridas Thakur were praying very intensively. And in response to their prayers, who appeared? Who appeared? Sri Yuga avatar. Sri Yuga, that's another name. Or Chana avatar appeared. And his appearance, the goal from the beginning was what? To propagate the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Even when he was a young child, he would stop crying when the ladies would chant. That was a clear message. And initially, he did not reveal his divine purpose. Initially, he just acted like a very prominent Sanskrit scholar. So he would debate. At the age of 10, he started a Sanskrit school. And at the age of 11, He defeated all the prominent Pandits. Keshav Kashmiri, who was a very prominent Sanskrit Pandit, who had come to Navadvip to debate with the Pandit. Navadvip at that time was the intellectual capital of India. All the intellectuals were residing there. So Keshav Kashmiri had defeated everyone. And so he said, now I should go to Navadvip and debate with their scholar. So he came to Navadvip. And at that time, Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, he was known as Pandit. Nimai Pandit was, that time Nimai Pandit was teaching a class. So he said, are you that famous Nimai Pandit? He said, yes. And I've come to debate with you. You? Oh, you are such a prominent scholar. I can't stand in front of you. He flattered him. But the Keshav Kashmiri said, no, you please compose some Sanskrit verses. And Nimai said, first you do, because you are a real scholar. I'm a pretender. So, सुनाई नहीं दे रहा था, अब कम आ रहा है, तो पहले के लिए बोला, आधी क्लास तो खत्म भी हो गई, पहले सुनाई नहीं दे रहा था, हाँ, सुन रहे थे, okay. So anyway, he composed 100 verses glorifying the Ganga. And then he asked Nimai, so how do you like my composition? He expected praise. But what did Nimai then? He repeated the 100 verses. One person who can memorize just by hearing once is called Shrutidara, just like Sutta Goswami. Just by hearing the Bhagavatam once, from Shukadev Goswami, he memorized it. So Keshav Kashmiri was surprised when he saw young Nimai Pandit repeating the 100 names without any interruption or any fault. And when he could not answer to the questions presented by Nimai, Nimai's students began to make fun. They began to laugh. See, then Nimai showed what humility means. Lord Chaitanya preached humility, practiced humility, and advocated humility. Lord Chaitanya didn't want to embarrass his guest. So he said, oh, today he's tired, tomorrow he'll respond. He defended the teacher. The next day, when the teacher went home, she was a devotee of Saraswati. She said that Keshav Kashmiri said, my Lord, you have always spoken through me and protected me, but today you did not. And the goddess Saraswati said, that Pandit is not an ordinary person. He is who? The Supreme Lord. So then he said, so Nimai, from the very beginning, he propagated the chanting of the holy name. He would chant, stop chanting, only when the ladies would chant. His pastimes from the beginning are simply wonderful. So Lord Chaitanya is described as the Chana Avatar or Sri Yoga. He is the Lord appearing in the devotee. When devotees would say, are you God? Are you Krishna? What would Lord Chaitanya do? Close his ears and say, no, Krishna, look at that. No. He never admitted he is God. Lord Chaitanya did display superhuman activities, because that is necessary to identify the genuine from the false. So, but Lord Chaitanya never admitted he is God. Never they would say, are you God? He would close his eyes. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described as what? The most merciful of all incarnations. Narottam Thakur very nicely states, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karamore Samapinake Deyalu Evita Samsara. My dear Lord, please be merciful unto me. You have appeared, you are the most merciful of all incarnations. So he appeared as Three Yuga, as a hidden avatar, but still he did not want to be glorified as the Supreme Lord. And he appeared to save the people of Kali Yuga. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya. Radha and Krishna appeared in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a very merciful incarnation, and his purpose was to save people. So at a young age, he became a Sanskrit scholar, and then he started his preaching. Lord Chaitanya had a very intimate relationship with a small businessman whose name was Gopal. He was a small businessman, not big. His income was few pennies, and he had a shop where he sold banana leaf cups and bananas. So Lord Chaitanya had such a deep relationship that every day on his way to school, he would stop over there and he would bargain. Okay, what's the price of bananas today? And he would say, 1 paisa a dozen. It's too much. You're earning too much profit. And he would say, if you think I'm making profit, why don't you come and see in my house? How big my house is? And Lord Chaitanya would say, not today, but one day I will come and show the world how rich you are. So this way, the Leela was unbreakable. And then Lord Srila would get frustrated and he would say, if you can get cheaper goods elsewhere, why don't you go there? Why do you come and eat my head every day? Go to the other suppliers. And the Lord would say, why should I give up a steady supplier? Like if any of you are doing business, if you have a steady supplier giving you your supply in good quality, right price, then you don't drop him, isn't it? So Lord Chaitanya said, why should I drop you? You're a steady supplier. It's not going to be you only. So they had such an intimate relationship. And Kailash Srila, his sacrifice is unbelievable. He would spend 50% of his income in worshipping the Ganga, 50%. And for living in his room, he had one small room with no roof. And he had as his possession one dhoti with 12 holes in it. And if you have a dhoti with holes in it, but still, he would just go on serving. And he would be chanting day and night. Once Lord Chaitanya wanted his devotees to bring Kailash Srila. He said, go house to house, and when you reach his house, you will hear him loudly chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And then he will know, this is where Kailash Srila stays. So he said, okay. And the neighbors, what would they say? They would say, this Kailash Srila is ghostly haunted. He doesn't sleep in the night, and he doesn't let us sleep in the night. You go booth khare. And so, Stephen and Cherry. So, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, he has unlimited leelas. These other incarnations, the length of their leelas is not so great. Lord Chaitanya's length is much more. But still, because he wanted to appear as a devotee, Prabhupada gives the example, sometimes a teacher will hold the hands of the student and tell the student how to write. Now when the teacher holds the hand of the student and says, okay, now you write, as children you may have noticed it, then the teacher is holding the hand of the student and the student is writing, isn't it? So does that mean the teacher has become, does it mean the teacher becomes student? No. He's just teaching. So Lord Chaitanya appeared as Sri Yoga, and why? He wanted to teach us, practically demonstrating how you can please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What we study, what we read, is not just theoretical. It should be practical. If we just study the philosophy, memorize the shlokas, act like a big pandit, that won't fetch you too far. What we need to do, practice. Chaitanya Sanatana Goswami had gone to see Lord Chaitanya. He said, Lord Chaitanya said, some preach and do not practice, and some practice and do not preach. But you are simultaneously doing both. He gave that address to Haridas. And Sanatana Goswami said, Sanatana Goswami said, some preach and do not practice, and some practice and do not preach. You do both. So that should be our approach on the devotional path. We should practice and preach, not just have theoretical knowledge. Practice and preach. Practice is we read the scriptures, and then we should preach. And not that we preach and do not practice. Some people may be very good speakers, good orators. They may study have the books memorized, but they don't practice. And what do they use? So it is very important, as Prabhupada often said, we should practice and preach. If we practice and preach, then our preaching will have effect. Then our preaching will be effective. And this is what Chaitanya taught us. He taught us that we should practice and preach. And in the association of devotees, that can be easily done. So, what this verse is saying, actually these two verses are very connected. Text 34 and text 35. In text 35, what is being said? That the Mother Earth is glorifying the Lord who has appeared in his born incarnation. And it said, by chanting mantras, we shall be able to understand you fully. So when we chant the mantra, what happens? By chanting the mantra, our heart gets purified. Why is it that we recommend to chant the holy name? Because chanting the holy name has some effect. Sometimes people say, what effect is it? You'll have the effect of cleansing your heart. Our hearts are contaminated. Our hearts are polluted. Our hearts are, as Prabhupada said, more black than a coal. You know coal, how black it is. Is there anything more black than a coal? Where are they going? Okay. So, we have this chanting, it cleanses the heart. And this chanting is the best process of cleansing the heart. As I said earlier, Kritya Dhyayato Vishnu. In the age of in Satyuga, the process was meditation on Vishnu. And then Treta Yuga Yajatomake. And Treta Yuga was the process of elaborate worship, yagyas. In that age, they would use pure ingredients, pure ghee, pure oil, and that is not possible in this age. Because you will say, by this age we can't even eat, forget yagya. Then came Dwapara Yuga. The process was, what was the process? Elaborate worship of the deities. Like if you were coming to Radha Parthasarthi temple for darshan, you would not come empty-handed or with 10 rupees. You would come with 1 ounce of tola of gold. So you would keep gold on the altar. You will say, oh, if you keep gold on the altar now, the thieves will plan how to steal it. So at that time you didn't have that worry of thieves. Everybody who would come to the temple would bring elaborate means of worship with him as a gift. But that is not a possibility. So it is said in the Bhagavatam that in this age of Kali, where the other three are not easy to do, you can get the same benefit by chanting the holy name. So what is being explained here by Mother Earth is that Mother Earth is saying, we are here to worship you, glorify you. We hear the Lord has appeared as a born incarnation. So the devotees are saying, Mother Earth is saying, Lord, you have appeared as a born incarnation. Your incarnations are inconceivable, but we can understand you only by chanting mantras. If you don't chant any mantras, if you don't get purified, then you can't understand the Lord. Understanding the Lord is also a great science. It is not that adopt any means and you'll understand the Lord. It's a great science. And that is the science of, which science is it? Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Amama Vijnandi. Science of Bhakti Yoga. It's a great science, learning how to understand the Lord. And the scriptures say, this science is led by whom? Is led by the Lord and His devotees. So it is flawless. That's why we hear. Every human being has 4 types of defects, isn't it? We have a tendency to cheat. Are they cheaters in Kali Yuga? Okay. Okay, we have a tendency to cheat. Our senses are perfect. We don't make mistakes, do we? They said in Delhi, no, Mama never makes mistakes. Anyone makes mistakes? We make mistakes. And also, we get illusion. What does it mean, get illusion? It means something which is unreal, I accept as real. And what is real, I accept as unreal. For example, soul is eternal, body is perishable. Everyone does not recognize that. Most people say everything ends with the body, with death. But death is nothing but a process of changing the dress. So illusion, we get in illusion, we think false to be real, real to be false. So if we chant the holy names, then what happens? Then we can cleanse our heart. All these material misgivings, material goals, material attractiveness will all be replaced, but by chanting the holy names. You can't expect not to make any effort and still understand the Lord. You can't expect then you will get love of God without making an effort. It will not happen. If Krishna says what? Ye yatamam pavadate. All of them, as they surrender to me, I will reward you. Krishna doesn't say, Jo karna karo, I'll give you equal coverage. When he say that, he is very blunt. For example, Sarva dharmam parityajya mam ekam am tam sarva papebhyo mokshashami adaja. He doesn't say, all who surrender to me will get protection. He says, all of them, as they surrender to me, I will reward them accordingly. Ma sucha, do not worry. So Krishna is making it very clear. If you want my protection, then surrender to me. If you want to do 10% surrender, you'll get 10% protection. If you say, surrender 10%, reward 100%. I want to go back to Godhead with 10%. But Krishna says, sorry. You don't want to sacrifice, I don't want to compromise. You have to sacrifice something to please Krishna. And he said, no, you want to do bargaining. So Krishna says, I can't compromise. Where does Krishna say, if you can't surrender, I will compromise? He doesn't say that. He maintains throughout a strict position. If you surrender, only then will I protect you. So we have to pay the price for becoming Krishna conscious. So what is being explained here is the Mother Earth is offering respects to the Lord and saying that by chanting the mantras, we'll be able to understand you. So this chanting of mantras is very highly recommended. What did Lord Chaitanya say? Kali Kali Nama Rupa Krishna. In this age, the Lord appeared as Kali, incarnation of holy name. So many times materialists say, how is that you can chant the same name again and again and not get tired? We don't get tired. Why? Why? Because the holy names are not different from the Lord. That's why we are able to chant again and again. So this chanting of mantras is very important. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you read about different stages of chanting. The offensive stage, the stage of minimizing offenses, and Shuddha Sattva, the purified state. So in the initial stage, you chant without following strictly any rules and regulations. But then when you associate with devotees and when you start reading the books, you understand, oh, this is not good, I should avoid it. So you try to minimize. Just like in our temple, in every temple of Iskcon, we recite the 10 offenses. Why? We are reminding everyone, junior or senior, if we want to get full benefit, then we avoid the offenses. And then the purified stage, where you're chanting, avoiding all the offenses. So this chanting is our most important duty. And if we chant, we will be able to please the Lord. In the Bhagavatam there are so many stories. In the story of Ajamil, you see, Ajamil was saved. How? Just by his attachment to the name of Narayana. So we are also fortunate we've got introduced to the holy name. Prabhupada, when he went to America, what did he take with him? 40 rupees. Where he had the holy name. How did Prabhupada attract the people? Not by PhD degrees, but by getting them to chant the holy name. He started chanting the holy name in Tompkins Square Park, and that resulted in people joining. So this chanting is our most important business, and it doesn't matter what ashram you belong to, that this chanting should be done regularly. And the Lord's body is always transcendental. And further they say, you are the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So who is the enjoyer? Who? Bhokta ramya gatapasam sarvaloka. You are the real enjoyer. The difference between a devotee's approach and a materialist approach is the devotee understands, I am not the bhokta. The real bhokta is Krishna. And if you try to act as the bhokta, then what happens? The Maya kicks you. Then you become proud, arrogant, and then Maya kicks you, and your enthusiasm goes away. Whereas if you say, Sinada Pisunichena, cultivate the mood of humility and chant, then you can make spiritual advancement. Thakur Bhakti knows, in his writing on Sharanagati says, one should never be a source of trouble to anyone. Never. Never trouble anyone. Because of me, somebody else is suffering. So Thakur Bhakti will say, chant the holy name, but don't be a source of trouble to anyone. And offer respect to everyone. So humility is our most important asset. You read that in the scriptures from beginning to end. And if you practice devotional service in the association of devotees, then the spiritual progress will be rapid. Just like in this chapter, in the introduction, first page, Prabhupada says, you can understand these leelas of the Lord and His devotees only if you are in the association of devotees. Then you can understand. Otherwise, to understand the Jamadweep leela is not easy. It's very complicated. But if you are understanding it in the association of devotees, then you can understand. So, this verse is very important. And the Lord is Sri Yoga. So, so Lord Chaitanya is known as Gupta Avatar or Hidden Avatar. So, we know, even though he is a hidden avatar, he is God. We don't doubt that. Advaita Acharya had prayed for the Lord to appear, and Advaita Acharya knew the Lord was an incarnation. And Lord Chaitanya wanted to show great respect to Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya was senior to him. So Advaita Acharya was constantly thinking, how can I be chastised by the Lord? He's always praising me, saying that I am the cause of his appearance. But he's Mahavishnu. He doesn't need my blessings. So the Lord Advaita Acharya was constantly thinking. So he devised a plan. I am going to become a Mayavadi. I am, because Lord Chaitanya hated Mayavadis. He would say, no one should go next to a Mayavadi. Stay away from them. The Mayavadi would say, God has no hand, no leg, no eyes, no nothing. He's totally abstract. So that is their version. So Advaita Acharya started preaching with the philosophy of impersonalism. So Lord Chaitanya heard that. And Lord Nityananda also heard it. Lord Chaitanya first consulted Nityananda. Nityananda, have you heard this? Advaita Acharya has become a Mayavadi. And Nityananda said, yes, I was also shocked. He was such a staunch devotee. And now he says, God is not there. God has no form. Lord Chaitanya was very angry. So he called Advaita Acharya and said, you are now preaching impersonal, bang! And he put his hand on the Lord's, on the Acharya's back. And then Advaita Acharya's wife, she was looking in, she got panicky. No, please save my husband. and then the Acharya said, thank you very much. This was just a drama to get you to chastise me. So, there are many pastimes of the Lord. So, but Lord Chaitanya is, without doubt, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared just to save the people of Kali Yuga. And in this verse, that is what is emphasized. The Lord is known as Sri Yoga. That means he doesn't appear in Kali Yuga in a form. But that doesn't mean he's not God. Lord Chaitanya will always be God. We don't need confirmation in the scriptures. But even though there is confirmation, in the 11th canto also it is concluded. So Lord Chaitanya is God who appeared as a devotee to save the fallen people of Kali Yuga. So what the world needs today, is Lord Chaitanya's message. As you know today, society is in a very precarious condition. People are, so much anxiety, so many people are dying. Yesterday evening they showed me pictures of some devotees who were connected to this temple and have passed away. So never in history, maybe after the Spanish flu, there was a Spanish flu in the early 19th century. Now so many people are dying, so many people are losing jobs, isn't it? There are no jobs, they're losing jobs. And this misery is there. Of course, we don't know the exact cause, but overall, our understanding is material nature strikes when society gets very sinful. When we get sinful, then society retaliates. Adi devik, adi bodhik, adi advik klesha. So in some form or the other, hurricane, earthquakes, floods, tsunami, these are all different samples of how Maya strikes. And now you have another sample, variant 1, variant 2, and soon to come variant 3. So prepare yourself for these variants. I was telling some devotees, if you want to protect yourself from the variant, no place is better than Iskcon temples. Because in Iskcon temples, at least you get a roof on your head, you get prasadam to eat, and plenty of seva to do. If you go home, you'll just get bewildered, you won't know what to do. So today's verse glorifies the Lord's incarnation as a boar, the Mother Earth. It glorifies the Lord's appearance as boar incarnation. And Mother Earth is saying, you are the enjoyer, you are the supreme enjoyer, you are our well-wisher, and everything we do should be your pleasure. And Lord Chaitanya is an avatar, but Gupta avatar, the hidden incarnation. But just because he is hidden doesn't mean we say, oh, that is category A incarnation, this is category B. No, they're all the same category, but the Lord takes on different roles to fulfill different goals. And the goal of Lord Chaitanya was to freely distribute the holy name without any discrimination. The clouds pour water regardless of whether it falls on mountains or ocean or a fertile soil, isn't it? Lord Chaitanya freely distributed his path of love of God without any discrimination. So we should also keep doing that and depend on Lord Chaitanya for our protection. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, any questions? Were you able to सुनाई दे रहा था आप लोगों को? If you have questions, मेरा गला बैठ गया है.
गुरु महाराज एक प्रश्न है, पेपर में लिख के दिया है. Guru Maharaj, I chanted the holy name from so many years. Unable to avoid 10 kinds of offenses. How to chant the holy name without offenses so that I can get some taste by chanting the holy name of the Lord?
कम से कम अब में ये श्रद्धा तो है कि आपने इस उद्देश्य को प्राप्त करना है. किस उद्देश्य को? कि आप अपराधों से रहित जाप करो, है कि नहीं? कईयों के मन में ये तो भाव है ही नहीं. तो जो आपके मन में ये भाव है, इट इज वेरी गुड. आपके मन में ये भाव है, हम अच्छे भक्त बने, ये अच्छा भाव है. तो अभी आपको नेक्स्ट स्टेप पर जाना चाहिए. फॉलो कृष्णा's इंस्ट्रक्शन. और आप प्रयास करोगे. जैसे प्रभुपाद कहते थे, तुम एक कदम उठाओ भगवान की तरफ, भगवान 10 कदम उठाएगा तुम्हारी तरफ. We should have faith. But the first step is yours. Krishna will not take the first step. पहला कदम आपको उठाना पड़ेगा. पहला कदम भगवान नहीं उठाएंगे. And it has to be a sincere kadam. Then Krishna will say, oh, he is making all this sacrifice to please me. So now I should help him also. Then the Lord goes an extra mile. Okay. Yes, Rishipur.
Gopal, thank you very much for explaining so many incarnations of Lord, including Lord Chaitanya's wonderful pastimes. My question, Guru Maharaj, is that you mentioned in the lecture that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mentioned how one should chant the holy name and also avoid being a cause of difficulty for others. So how could you kindly elaborate that? How can one, in the midst of services, ensure that one does not cause difficulty or retard somebody else's Krishna consciousness progress?
आप सब क्वेश्चन समझे या हिंदी? इनके मन में भी तो हिंदी में बोलिए.
हरे कृष्ण गुरु महाराज, मेरा प्रश्न यह था कि आपने बताया कि श्रील भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर ने बताया है कि हरे कृष्ण मंत्र का उच्चारण भी करें और साथ साथ स्वयं को इस परिस्थिति में रखें कि दूसरे की जीवन में कठिनाई का कारण न बने, उसके कृष्ण भावनामृत प्रगति के मार्ग में बाधा न बने. तो इसको थोड़ा विस्तृत कर सकते हैं आप?
हमें दूसरे को ये नहीं सोचना है, हम हमारे स्वास्थ्य के लिए जो आवश्यक है करेंगे, दूसरों की हमें कोई चिंता नहीं. जैसे कई बार ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम में आपका नियम है 9 बजे सो के 2:30 बजे को उठना, और दूसरा ब्रह्मचर्य आता था अति ऑन कर दिया और वो सो रहा है बेचारा और हमने ऑन कर दिया. कोई सो रहा है, हमारे घर जोर से बात करते हैं. So we should try not to avoid being a source of trouble to anyone. हमें अपने स्वाद का सोचना है. दूसरों का क्या है चिंता। तो पहले दूसरों का सोचो, फिर अपना सोचो। पहले सोचो दूसरों के लिए क्या अच्छा है, फिर अपने लिए क्या अच्छा है। ये नहीं मेरे लिए जो अच्छा है वही दूसरों के लिए अच्छा रहेगा। हमारा सिद्धांत तो ये रहता है, माई विश शुड बी योर डिजायर। मेरी जो इच्छा है ये तुम्हारी इच्छा होनी चाहिए, है ना। अक्सर तो हम मन के बैक ऑफ माइंड ऐसे सोचते रहते हैं, जो मेरे लिए अच्छा है वो दूसरों के लिए अच्छा है। आपको सोचना चाहिए कि दूसरे के लिए अच्छा है वो मेरे लिए अच्छा है। ओके, एनी मोर?
थैंक यू महाराज।
यस,
Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for explaining very deeply many aspects. Maharaj, you said that the more we endeavor, the more we will be benefited. That much Lord will protect us, and Lord will be more pleased. So when we endeavor, Guru Maharaj, we have the fruity mentality.
we have what?
Fruity mentality, because whatever we endeavor, we look for a result. But as we see in Krishna consciousness, Lord demands the complete surrender. And generally we lose that enthusiasm because that reciprocation is not there. Reciprocation means we don't feel that like I will be able to cross the Maya. So how to be determined and how to go ahead?
कई बार भक्त आते हैं, कहते हैं मैं तो इस जीवन में नहीं कर पाऊंगा। अगर भगवान को लगता कि आप नहीं कर सकते तो भगवान गीता में ऐसे श्लोक क्यों देते, सर्वधर्मा परित्यज्य। भगवान क्यों कहते मेरी शरण में आओ। भगवान कह रहे हैं मतलब कि इट इज अटेनेबल गोल, इट इज समथिंग दैट वी कैन अटेन, वी जस्ट नीड डिटरमिनेशन। Krishna is not going to try and bluff us. He's not going to give us something we can't do. Everything Krishna says in Gita, you can easily do if you try. Okay?
Sometimes it's very difficult to give up the unfavorable things, which Krishna says.
That is difficult, but just see how difficult material life is. You think living in the streets of Gari or any other place, it's easy. So frankly, you think to earn money and eat pav bhaji in the shop is easy? No. Material life is 100 times more difficult. But we have this attraction to sense pleasure for sex life, and that becomes more powerful than everything else. That's our weakness. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'll take one more question and then stop. Any more questions? Okay.
हरे कृष्ण, थैंक यू वेरी मच महाराज। महाराज आपने मेंशन किया था कि प्रकृति के द्वारा रिएक्शन मिलता है जब ज़्यादा पाप करते हैं और ऐसे घटनाएं घटती हैं, अभी जैसे ज़्यादा लोग की मृत्यु हो रही है, पर भक्तों का भी इसमें देहांत हो रहा है, तो वो कैसे समझें कि भक्त लोग तो ज़्यादा पाप कर्म में लगे नहीं रहते हैं, उनको कैसे समझें?
हर प्रश्न को तो हम नहीं दे सकते, पर भक्तों का भी इतिहास है सुख दुख का। भक्त भी जब जन्म लेते हैं उनके पीछे इतिहास रहता है। एग्जैक्ट किसका कितना % ब्लेम है वो बोलना मुश्किल है, बट we all have a history of karma, and according to our history of karma we get sukh and dukh. in 7th Canto, Prabhupada says, you won't get one drop more than what is your quota. But every question we can't answer. We can't say, okay, you had 70% false or no. But these are just general principles. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद परम पूज्य श्री गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज का। महाराज जी ने हमें आशीर्वचन दिया। हम सबका परम सौभाग्य है कि महाराज जी का सानिध्य मिल रहा है। इस कोरोना महामारी का एक बहुत बड़ा लाभ यही हमारे लिए प्राप्त हो रहा है। बाकी सर्वत्र समस्याएं चल रही हैं। सबसे पुनः अनुरोध है कि आप उचित सामूहिक दूरी बनाए रखें। मंदिर में हमने अलग अलग स्थान में प्रातःकालीन कार्यक्रम रखा है, प्रसादम की व्यवस्था करी है। उसके मार्गदर्शन के अनुसार आप चलते रहें, हमेशा मास्क पहने रहें, सैनिटाइज़र यूज़ करें। प्लीज़ इसको ढीलापन इसमें ना लाएं, बहुत ही आवश्यक है। आप सबसे अनुरोध है कि अब महाराज जी ने जैसे बताया, समय निकाल के आपको सेवा, कई सारी सेवाएं जिसमें आपकी मदद भी चाहिए हमें, तो अरविंद माधव और मोहन श्याम प्रभु, इन दोनों से आप संपर्क कर सकते हैं कि कई सारी सेवाएं मंदिर के व्यवस्थापन में, प्रचार में कई सारी सेवाएं आवश्यक हैं। फूड फॉर लाइफ में, डीटी डिपार्टमेंट में, प्लीज़ आप हेल्प करें और इससे ज़्यादा कृपा मिलेगी। और इसके बावजूद भी समय मिला तो अधिक मला कर सकते हैं, महाराज जी ने जैसे बताया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इस गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की।
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,